This is ILTV on the hour, bringing you the latest stories from Israel and the Middle East. I'm Ladar Lazi. Today is day 10 of the war in Israel, and we have major headlines and updates at this hour. So let's get into it. At this hour, the IDF is continuing to strike military and nuclear targets in Iran. This as the Iranian regime has vowed retaliation. Reports indicate that Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi will fly to Russia to meet with President Vladimir Putin. Araghchi, speaking from Istanbul, said that Iran will not return to diplomacy while under attack by Israel and the United States. Meanwhile, Defense Minister Israel Katz is holding his first situation assessment after the U.S. strike at this hour, meeting with the IDF Chief of Staff and other military commanders. An IDF spokesman, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, issued a statement saying that in the wake of Iran's threats of retaliation, Israel is preparing for a wide range of scenarios, adding that the IDF is also preparing for a prolonged campaign. He asked the Israeli public to maintain patience and resilience. And all of this as overnight, U.S. warplanes and submarines attacked 3 key nuclear sites in Iran early this morning, bringing America directly into Israel's war with Iran. U.S. President Donald Trump gave the order to attack and warned Tehran not to retaliate. The strikes hit 3 of Iran's major uranium enrichment centers, including the heavily fortified Fordow site built deep into a mountain, the larger enrichment plant at Natanz, which Israel struck just several days ago, and a third site near Esfahan, where Iran is believed to keep near weapons-grade uranium. Speaking from the White House, U.S. President Trump said the objective of the strikes was the destruction of Iran's nuclear program. Trump claimed the strikes were successful, saying that the nuclear facilities had been completely and totally obliterated. Let's take a look at his comments.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
In an historic first, the U.S. used B-2 stealth bombers to attack Iranian sites. At Fordow, the aircraft dropped the so-called bunker busters, the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator capable of destroying the Fordow facility, which remained untouched deep in a mountain, even as Israel inflicted massive damages at both the Natanz and Esfahan nuclear facilities. The bomb is able to penetrate about 200 feet below surface before exploding. And meanwhile, hours after the U.S. attacked Iranian nuclear sites, Iran launched a barrage of missiles at northern and central Israel. Magen David Adom says that 86 people had been injured so far and arrived to hospitals after direct hits in 10 impact sites on the coastal central and Dan districts, including direct hits on residential buildings and cars. There were at least 10 impact sites in residential areas, including in Tel Aviv, Ness Ziona, and Haifa. And in other dramatic news today, the bodies of 3 hostages were recovered from Gaza. The bodies of Yonatan Samerano, Ofra Kedar, and Staff Sergeant Shai Levinson were recovered in a joint military and Shin Bet operation. Kedar, 71, was murdered in Kibbutz Be'eri. Samerano, also in Kibbutz Be'eri, and all 3 have now been returned home in a special IDF operation. And that's all the time we have at this hour. Stay tuned and join in for more updates live here on ILTV every hour.